Matt Bennett, Senior Vice President and co-founder of Third Way, and Nan Hayworth, a former Congresswoman from New York, now on the board of directors of the Independent Women's Forum. Matt, I want to read to you a tweet that I saw from Jim Messina. He was the Obama Communications Director. He said, "Argue the substance all you want, but why 22 days before a crucial election where we must win House and Senate to save America? Why did Senator Warren have to do her announcement now? Why can't Dems ever stay focused? 3 question marks."
Look, I think you raise a fair point. It's clear that Senator Warren was right about all of this, and it probably will mean that the kind of racist slur that the president's been using to describe her loses some of its punch. But I do wish she had waited a month. This is a big midterm coming up.
It's a huge midterm, but this, Republicans love to talk about this. The president would like nothing more. And if it is that she's 1/1024th, Native American, did she benefit from? I guess the question: did she benefit from putting her heritage on these forms and then identifying that way?
It must be noted that she put her heritage claim on the forms on the basis of high cheekbones and family lore. And to her great relief now, she has found that she is, in fact, 1/1000th. Apparently, that's the actual figure, I guess, Native American. That is less than the average among Americans, interestingly enough.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. Which is, she's like 0.09%. On average, Americans are 0.14%. But aside from all of that, and, indeed, Matt, I would say the president was poking fun at her, not in a racist way, but in a jovial way.
But she certainly takes it, like the left takes it that way. And and they can
Native Americans take it that way. I mean, don't believe me. Ask Native Americans what they think about this. No, what the president has done is called her by a racist and obnoxious term, and he's been asked not to do it by Native Americans, and he keeps doing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it continues.
I think Native Americans would be more offended by the fact that someone is claiming to be Native American on the basis of high cheekbones, but much more to the point, Elizabeth Warren would be a disaster for the United States. She is in favor of bringing back
we'll have plenty of time to talk about that because, to Jim Messina's point, the midterm elections, the Democrats have invested a lot. They've done a lot of candidate recruitment. They have enthusiasm up. So they want to focus on that. But 2020, it's right around the corner. There was a poll from CNN that took these 4 people, Biden, Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren. I think we have their percentages there. Matt, do you think that Joe Biden at 33%, that is mostly at this point a name ID?
Yeah, I think it's almost entirely that. We have a big field, as you've discussed many times on this show. Most of those people no one's ever heard of outside of their own states or districts. Joe Biden has 100% name ID, so of course he's going to.
What do you anticipate? Like the day after the midterm, the Democrats are also going to start to run, and they could have twice the number of candidates running in their primary than the Republicans did in 2015.
That's right. Well, Dana, and it's twice as many candidates all running on the wrong platform for this country. So I think the president's going to have a lot of fun poking holes in their arguments. And, let's face it, every one of those candidates has an Achilles heel.
The other thing is, I did want to ask you, Matt, about the Texas race, the Senate race between Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz. We've been reading for months very glowing feature stories and profiles of Beto O'Rourke. He has raised $38 million, but the latest poll shows that he's down from Ted Cruz to Cruz at 54%, O'Rourke at 45% going into this midterm. There was questions over the weekend from some Democrats saying, should Beto O'Rourke, given that he's likely to lose in Texas, should he share some of that $38 million with other Democrats going into the midterm?
I mean, you can ask me. I think that's pretty hard to do, to ask somebody who's in the heat of battle to give away money that's been donated to him. Those donors expect it to be used in his race. I will say this. States like Texas are fool's gold for the other side until they're not. Right. So Pennsylvania was always that way for Republicans. For cycle after cycle, Republicans invested in Pennsylvania. Democrats
Michigan, too.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, the wall crumbled. So that could happen in Texas, and we don't know, and neither does Beto at this point.
What about also, let me ask you about Tennessee, since we have a little bit of time. Sure. Marsha Blackburn pulling away in that race in the New York Times poll, 54 to 40%. Sure. Phil Bredesen, a pretty conservative Democrat, trying to run as a moderate. And if you can't win as that kind of a Democrat in Tennessee, can you not win there at all?
Well, you know, Marsha, and when you just compare these two people, Marsha Blackburn has been a great representative for Tennessee. She's been a great advocate for the music industry, which of course is huge in Tennessee.
I know that bill just got signed last week by the president.
Exactly, and for Tennessee taxpayers and for jobs and wages. So, you know, she has every argument on her side. And Governor Bredesen, former Governor Bredesen, of course, has been in all sorts of news reports that he actually helped some of his key aides avoid public release of documents relating to their own sexual harassment problems. So in a Me Too era, you know, that kind of thing does not sit well with women in general.
I should point out that there is another poll I saw today where Bredesen is only down by 1. So it's not necessarily a done deal anywhere, because we have 22 days to go, and we loved having you. Matt Bennett and Nan Hayward, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.